Okay, I've got a question. What do a liver transplant, a wreath-making hobby, and more than a few glasses of eggnog have in common?
Well, somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in 2018 movie from Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, Once Upon a Christmas Miracle. And we've got a lot to talk about, Josh.
We do, Jennifer, and we will unwrap it all for you on this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Well, we are back with the 12 pods of Christmas. Yes, this is our countdown series to get us to brand new movies coming your way in October. And I'm having a lot of fun, Jennifer, reviewing some fan favorites.
That's right. And I watched this one a long time ago, but I'll tell you right now, there were parts I didn't remember. So it's good to go back to the well sometimes, even if you've already seen it. So we're glad you're here. Here's the plot summary from IMDb. When a young woman with stage 4 liver disease meets the Marine whose organ donation could save her, the last thing they expect is to fall in love. But of course, that's the first thing we expect because that's why we watch these movies. Let's go.
Well, first things first, this is Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. So we know things are going to be heavy, and we know this is sort of based on a real life story, inspired by real events, they tell us as it goes. So let's find out. Yeah, we start with our lead, Aimee Teegarden as Heather. And by the way, Jennifer, I think this is the first Aimee Teegarden movie that we've reviewed.
Is
Am
that
I right?
true?
I don't know.
I guess you're right because she was in the one that she found her long lost family, but we haven't talked about that one. She was in a class reunion one we haven't talked about. She was in Friday Night Lights as Julie Taylor, one of my all-time favorite shows. Of course, we haven't talked about that, but yeah, this might be her first.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
thought she
always
was
happy to see her.
delightful. Yeah. Anyway, she plays this woman named Heather, and she's enjoying a snowy, Christmassy Chicago sidewalk, staring up to the sky, smiling, and so excited to see all of the Christmas displays with her smiling loved ones. We get a hint, she tells us in a voiceover, about the most amazing gift she ever received. And we flash back one full year to a tree farm where our other lead, Brett Dalton as Chris, is hard at work. Now, Heather happens to show up at the tree farm, tree shopping, and is a woman on a mission. She is tired and not feeling really well at this point, so we get some foreshadowing out of the gate here. Now, back at nursing school, Heather gets kudos for her decorating skills. By the way, this place where she goes to nursing school looked like a mansion. It was like not not any college I've ever been to.
Looked more like a wedding venue. Yeah.
I thought the same, but decorated to the nines, all because of Heather's mad skills. And last minute, she decides to bounce before the white elephant gift exchange. She's not feeling well. She has a brief moment of peril here, like the briefest moment of peril. She just falls out. And it was very dramatic.
And her best friend, her nurse bestie, was there to catch her, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah. Anyway, she's avoiding getting checked out, and her mom, rightly, go mom here, forces the issue to take her to the hospital the next morning. Mom knows something's up. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was like, "Hey, I'll just wait till after Christmas." Ma'am?
Excuse me,
No,
ma'am? You just
need
fell
to go
out.
checked out.
Yeah.
We need some blood run, we need some tests. So that's some day offs. You do it now, you'll get it in before your deductible resets January 1st. Like, let's
Thank
go ahead
you.
and get in the hopper.
These people never
Clearly she
think.
doesn't clearly she's still on her parents' insurance
Yeah,
plan.
exactly. These people never think the practicalities through. I mean, we had the one last week with the mortgage of the farm next door. This is all about medical bills and all of that. Co-pays. My goodness. Here we go.
I've had when I had an, angry gallbladder, I was mad, A, because my gallbladder was angry, but B, it happened right after Christmas before the calendar year struck.
Stop.
It happened twice. I got hit at the end of December, and then it happened again in January. Like,
Dang it.
dang it. ER visits abounded for me and my gallbladder.
Mm,
RIP my gallbladder.
mm,
If we
mm.
can put, like, some sort of sad music here.
Sad music, career ladder.
Be gone.
Anyway, we're back to Chris. He's at the tree farm, and because he has a heart of gold, he is applying for a job rebuilding communities in the wake of natural disasters overseas. He is class act, heart of gold through and through. He's also Marine, so he's a hero on top of everything else, and he wants to make a difference in the world. Now, his cousin hints that he might be able to do all of that without leaving town. Again, the foreshadowing here. They're really setting the stage for this story. Heather's waiting for her test results, and she's making wreaths in her family's festive, and might I add, baller kitchen. This kitchen, my goodness, the island was the
Lovely.
size of my first apartment.
I love it. Love a big old island.
Mm.
Gimme.
Mhm.
Mm.
Her family wants to tone down the Christmas celebrations this year because, of course, Heather's not feeling well. She's got some health issues, but she is not having it. She wants to go all in on the holiday. Nothing's going to change, even if I'm sick. Now, Chris is off for his job interview, then dinner with his mom. His father, I guess, passed away, we're led to believe at some point, because, it's Hallmark, and as we say, the deader, the better. So here we go. Now, mom is kind of meddling about her hairdresser's daughter, and boom, Chris and this gal are off for a date, and Heather happens to be at the very same restaurant with her own dud of a date, some guy from school. Heather and Chris wind up meeting at the bar because they're both trying to escape these people that they happen to be with that night. This meet cute that they have at the bar, I thought, Jennifer, was sweetly awkward. He tries this joke that does not land, and she does not play along, and I just thought it was really cute. What did you think about this meet cute?
I thought it was more realistic. Like, so many of those lines in these movies are, like, totally cliche. I like that he tried something, it didn't work. He was kinda like, "Ah, okay, yeah, sorry." Like,
Yeah.
embarrassed, but also it was endearing. So, yeah.
I thought the same. Yeah. Heather gets the results from her tests, and as you might expect, not good. She has an advanced autoimmune disease, and she needs a new liver, so either a liver from someone who is passed or a living donor. So in other words, someone gives up half their liver for her, and then they both wind up regenerating their livers. So,
I think they said it had to be a living donor.
oh,
Was it though? I think
yeah.
so. I think that's what made it harder to find, but I don't know why. I don't know why it would matter. Mm.
Because the plot needed it to matter, perhaps.
Maybe. I'm reading a news story right now from the BBC about the real life couple. I'll fill you in if I find something.
Stay tuned. Put a pin in that. Yeah, exactly. Now, her family is all gung-ho, but Heather doesn't want to be a burden. That's the big theme for Heather throughout this entire thing. She really doesn't want to be a burden, which, I get. It resonates. She reluctantly agrees, however, to go through with all of this. So it's officially go time. There are phone calls, there's flyers, there's social media happening. Heather's sister is off to the tree farm for more supplies so that Heather can make some wreaths. This is her big hobby. She loves to do it. And so, of course, the sister's going to do whatever it takes to make sure Heather's got her wreath-making hobby a go. Now, the sister does, unpacks the challenge within earshot of Chris, who decides on his own, again, Marine heart of gold, to go get tested to see if he's a match. Now, Heather's decorating with her folks and says she's going to take a break from nursing school. Chris tells his mom he's going to go get tested, and mom originally is a little bit reluctant about it, but then realizes it's the right thing to do. I liked Chris's mom throughout this entire thing.
I did too, because overall, even though, I mean, from and what I'm reading, it is all the high points are the true story. I don't think he worked at a Christmas tree farm, but other than that, like all of this really happened for the most part. Again, the high points, but I liked that she was kind of provided some levity almost, and like not levity. What's the right word? Reality. I guess. Like to do it.
little bit.
Yeah, grounding, thank you. If your son was like, "Hey, I'm gonna donate an organ to a stranger," that's amazing. Like, you want to be so proud of them, but also that's still major surgery and it's still kind of scary and like, "Are you sure?" So, I like that she kind of questioned it for a minute. I think that's just normal. I think that's a normal reaction. And a lot of those, she's very, very sweet and saccharine, and I liked her kind of, yes, grounding it. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So Chris decides, hey, if I'm going to give half my liver to this gal, maybe I should, meet her. So he decides to text her and asks her out to lunch. And they realize they've actually met before. Holy cow. She shows up and he shows up and they see, and what? Oh, that's you from the bar, the thing, the joke, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Yeah. This lunch is immediately flirty, and the sparks are immediately flying between these two. And oh, yeah, he might give her part of his liver. He's surprisingly chill about the whole thing. And also, he's chill about the fact that
Yes.
he's a match. Like he just lets it slide during conversation. Oh, by the way, I'm a match. They told me I'm a match. And I've got to wonder, do we think at all that that's how that would go down?
No, well, and she thought they were going to lunch just because she was like, "Oh, he wants to get to know me before he goes and gets tested and whatever," which is a more realistic approach, I think, but I think it's a little crazy. You would think that the liver the body in question would know who's getting tested
Mhm.
for her.
The
I don't
transplant.
know how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're a medical expert in the world of organ transplant, comment. Let us know. Is this how this would go?
So
I'm curious.
maybe it does if you're just looking for some specific, and it is this big rush thing, and in real life, they're saying, she had 2 months to live
Yeah.
is what it was. Now, in real life, she was sick for 2 years, and then
Mm,
it came down to the nitty-gritty, and it was like, "Hey, you got 2 months to get a liver, otherwise,
mm,
bye-bye."
yeah.
So, that is
Anywho,
what done.
he's surprisingly chill about it in this scene. And then he lets it slip. Oh, yeah, they told me I'm a match, so you can have my liver. And she is, as you might expect, rather gobsmacked about the whole thing. He's never been sure of anything. She's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And it's like, this is his life's mission to give her half of his liver. It was just not even a question for him.
Just easy peasy. Yeah, look,
Lemon
I mean, you think
squeezy.
I would
Yeah.
say this, I would assume it would probably help that they're both hotties,
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that.
you know?
Yeah.
How many uggos are donating livers at the drop of a hat, sight unseen, just like,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And it helped that she's single and ready to mingle, as is
Mhm.
he.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get any kind of relationship backstory on either of them. They're both single and ready to go in the whole 9 yards. And in that same spirit of generosity and teamwork and togetherness, Chris shows up to Heather's house for the big family cookie exchange. So all of a sudden he's like an honorary member of the family. They're very excited he's there. Maybe a little bit too excited. And Heather is so willing to rescue him from the onslaught of all of this. So already it's the two of them against the world, against her liver disease, against her crazy family. It's the two of them together. She tells him he's worried she may get tired at the big family cookie exchange a little bit later, but she seems to rally quite nicely in the scene that follows. We did not get a full on baking montage here. I was a little disappointed about that, but the baked goods did look rather tasty to me. Your thoughts?
They did, and their descriptions of said baked goods looked tasty or sounded delightful as well. If
Mhm.
I were the parent of a child who needed an immediate organ transplant and I was not a match, and here comes this Hottie McHotterson r coming into my cookie exchange with a free liver, I would like on cartoons when they think it's like gold diggers and their eyes bug out and it's like money signs? Mine would have liver on it. Oh god. Oh god. Like, "What else can I do for you, sir?
Yeah.
I will absolutely make you an honorary member of the family. I will get you a Christmas gift, birthday gift, New Year's gift, Groundhog Day gift, all the gifts forever if you can save my child's life." So, yeah, they were a little extra, but I get their excitement. We were sure if they weren't,
Yeah.
right? They'd be like, "Oh, yeah, cool, you're gonna save her life. Cool." Yeah.
Anyway, almost time for surgery here, but first, Chris has to do some work at the tree farm. Heather's there for a tree for the family cabin and some mild flirting. He's super eager to help her with her wreath project and is quite clearly a smitten kitten. Now, this family cabin they go off to is the stuff of my dreams, Jennifer. This is exactly what I want for our family. This cabin is so nice and so tasteful and just beautiful. Loved it.
It was
They
beautiful.
sit by the fire at the cabin and they talk about her grandpa and his love of Christmas and her love of wreaths, and there's all kinds of seasonal bonding happening here, and I'm 1000% here for this scene. Now, it's time for surgery day. Here we go. The family's nervous, Heather's nervous, Chris is cool as a cucumber, ready to go. It all goes
He
well.
has been at war. I mean,
Well, I mean,
you
there's
know. And that is, gets a small he's seen some stuff, we assume. So, it's a little, anesthesia and organ removal.
yeah. I thought we would get
But
like a surgery scene where we see both of them sort of under anesthesia and we see boop, 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 that kind of thing happening in the background. We get none of
someone
that.
nearly flatlines.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we don't get
I thought we would get a little bit of moment of peril, but we don't. They're basically like, "Hey, we're gonna go into surgery, and then we're recovered from surgery." We jumped ahead. Yes. It all goes well. She sneaks into his room in recovery to deliver cookies and whisper flirt to him. Things continue looking up, and they have a movie night in the hospital together as time passes because they have to be in the hospital for 7 to 10 days. And we get that she snuck around so that she could hang out with him, and he presumably did the same. And they watched the movies and they bonded the whole 9 yards. Fast forward a week, and for some reason, they have wound up ghosting each other, which was a weird plot device for me.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
They
been off the
bonded.
talk since we left the hospital.
Yeah. They bonded so much in the hospital, and then they both just sort of, huh? It just weird turn of events here. Maybe we needed some forced question marks about the relationship. Is that what you think they were doing here?
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
She got busy.
Yeah.
Only the holidays,
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
Thanks for the
Christmas.
liver.
Thanks for the lover. Mary, Mary.
I got my traditions I gotta check off my chalkboard.
Check. Exactly. Heather's flipping through her text string with Chris, like you do when you're smitten with somebody. She makes an appearance at the ugly Christmas sweater party at school, and for some reason, she is anxious to call or text him. He's the same. Anywho, they finally decide that they're going to get over it and they touch base with each other. This leads to a really romantic nighttime hot cocoa stroll. She lets on about her sad pause in nursing school because of all of this, and they make eyes at each other. She lets on, and this is another question mark I have. She lets on that there's some sort of financial constraint here with the medical bills, and I might have to take a break from nursing school and all this other stuff. And I got to wonder, with that kitchen and that family cabin, you have cash flow problems? I don't buy it.
You hit it on Rudolph's nose. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay.
Come
I wasn't the only one.
for me
Yeah,
on that.
exactly. Yeah. Chris
Well,
stops
they
by.
talked about in the very beginning, like when she first was diagnosed, and you're in the consultation room, which is terrifying. Like you have the doctor on one side with the not great bedside manner, and mom and Heather on the other side, and they mention like briefly the bills that are going to come out of this, but it's also like, what are you going to do? Like, that liver's going to cost us a pretty penny.
Whoa. Exactly.
You just got to worry about that later. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris stops by her folks' house and he pitches this idea for a fundraiser to pay off her medical bills and get her back on track for nursing school, which is a great gesture. But again, we'll talk about it in Gold or Cold. Anyway, he wants to do this on Christmas Eve, which of course we've got to have a grand gesture and a climactic moment on Christmas Eve.
Ain't nobody in this town got anything else going on
No.
Christmas Eve, especially the last month and 2 weeks from Christmas. Yeah.
Last minute, we're going to throw it together.
Let me get my ball gown on and go do lots of money.
Of course, yeah. He uses her dad's line about, quote, if you're going to do something, you do it all the way, which apparently is the same line her dad has said throughout her entire upbringing. And of course, now dad is a smitten kitten too. So he's Team Chris all the way.
When he walked in to say, because when he shows up at their house, he's like, oh, Heather's not here. And he's like, that's okay. I knew she wouldn't be here. I'm here to talk to you. I was like, is he going to propose already?
I know.
I thought he was going to ask he ever in our marriage. No, just I want to throw her a fundraiser.
Yeah,
And
as I have nothing else to do.
Please.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Heather calls Chris. She's sweetly awkward on the phone, and they go have a date the next morning to go to a Christmas store. Lovely. They go, have a great time, but he gets a phone call from the charity that he applied to. And rut-row, here comes the oopsie doodle a mile away. The family shows up for what Heather thinks is dinner, dressed to the nines, of course, at this fancy hotel in town. But really, it's the fundraiser. They fling open the door, and she walks in a red dress to a round of applause. And I can't tell in this moment if she's excited about all of this or if she's socially anxious about all of this. The look on her face was a little mixed for me.
Well, I actually think that she played that right because she was confused because they didn't tell her about any of this. She just shows up and it's a surprise, and I think she says, like, "What is all this?" Like, whatever. "Hey, Chris, what up?" Like, "What are we doing? These people clapping for me." Yeah, I think she played that right. It was alarming. I mean, if I've shown up at surprise birthday dinners before and been like, "What is all this for?" knowing it was my birthday. She had no idea there was
No
something big
idea.
going on.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
She looks amazing. Wonderful night. Livers ain't cheap. She looks amazing in this red dress, by the way. And Chris has some nice words. Heather almost cries here. They dance to Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. You know, we've had this conversation about romantic dances to Christmas carols. It's just a little weird for me.
that one's not as bad because it's more of a secular Christmas carol. Like,
This is true.
it's different than when it's the Silent Nights, the Old Holy Nights, any kind of little town of Bethlehem,
Jesus, yes.
any Jesus night, like, that just seems weird to fall in love to. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. They played it multiple times,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
you know, no.
He tells her in this moment that he got the job abroad. She's so happy about that, but not really. It was one of those where it's like, yay. Uh-oh.
I can't ask you to stay because you gave me your liver. She's already used and you planned a fundraiser for me. She has no more like, no more cards to give
No more. No more.
to Captain.
They kind of sort of admit that they're catching feelings for one another. It's too much for her in this moment. She steps away. She wants him to do something for himself and tells him to take the job. Again, it's this whole thing where she doesn't want to be a burden. She doesn't want to feel like he's unduly attached to her and da 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 da. Again, all of this could be solved if we just had an honest heart to heart about our feelings, which thankfully, stick with me. It's Christmas morning at Heather's house, and it's also Christmas morning at Chris's. They're both sad.
Oh.
Heather's mom talks some sense into her, and she invites him to the cabin. It's amazing. He shows up. It's just the two of them. They chitter chatter. They have a heart to heart. They both look amazing in this scene, partly because the house is decorated to the nines for Christmas. Both of them are talking, and there's these beautiful Christmas lights just hanging in the background, and it's giving me all of the Christmas feels that I could possibly want. They have the most satisfying heart to heart. It's a great Hallmark kiss here, and we flash forward a year to the scene we started with at the top of this thing. Chris just happens to be tootling by in a horse-drawn carriage wearing a tuxedo, and he pops out and he drops to a knee. Fade to black. But then we fade up on the real life picture of Heather and Chris Dempsey. And it is at this point that I finally, Jennifer, shed a tear.
I was going to ask where Josh's cry count stood on
Yeah.
this movie.
It was more of like a baseline mist for me, really, for the back half of this. But the cry count went to 1 when I saw the real life picture.
A baseline missed for half of the movie?
A baseline mist.
Hashtag baseline missed. Oh, no. And then just 1 tear is all you got out?
Single
Just
tear.
the 1? Oh, man. Bless.
It's time for Golden Call.
Okay, baseline this. I can't. It's time for our Gold or Coal segment. We're each going to bring 3 gifts to the podcast, and if there's more gold, it's a match. If there's more coal, it's a pass. Awkward. And if it's a tie, 3-3, it's just a meh. Merry Christmas, Josh. I'm coming to you first.
You know, Jennifer, we write those. If it's gold, it's this. If it's coal, it's this. And I can't tell you how many times I had some really, I thought they were funny ones in there, but they were a little too morbid because it has this sort of like, I was like, it's flat line, but I'd win again there. So I did. Yeah. We're just trying to keep it classy.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping it light and bright around here.
Yeah. I'll start with some gold. I did think that I liked the casting of these two leads together. I thought he really personified this military hero with a heart of gold, and she really personified a nursing student with a heart of gold in a terrible circumstance. So I thought the casting was great, and I liked the two of them together. So I'll start with some gold.
Okay. I will start with some coal. How were they up and at 'em so quickly after this procedure? Now listen, I've had my gallbladder out, and I was up and at 'em after because I had to be. But a liver transplant seems more invasive. Again, I'm not medical, maybe it's not, but she was traipsing around, what, maybe 36 hours later, because it kinda showed, like I did like okay, well, okay. I did like when she would open her eyes a little bit, because she was still kinda out of it, and her parents were there, and she'd kinda smile and close her eyes. I thought that was cute, but when she gets up and just wanders down the hall because she got a new nurse, and then the nurse is, like, freaking out that she lost her, what? How realistic is that?
Not.
And I didn't like that part. I didn't like
Yeah.
that part. Mm.
I'll give a little bit of coal here. This faux plot line about financial instability is just not believable in the context of everything else we saw. I mean, this family clearly has money. And so I'm not buying this whole, we need to do a fundraiser because the medical bill. No, that's not a thing that this family ever needed to worry about. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and the family didn't initiate the fundraiser.
No.
He did, based on one flippant comment she made. Now, they were good with it, but like you alluded to earlier, I'm sorry, we gotta have some escrow or some wealth in this cabin. Why do we need a cabin? Why do we have why can't we sell the cabin as much as sell it to you, Josh. Sell you the cabin and get some change to pay for this liver procedure.
Yeah, I love that you think I have the
Transplant my
discretionary
liver.
income for that cabin too.
Well, we are big podcasters. We just have, we're just gonna buy multiple real estate properties. When you get a transplant, like, would her insurance pay? Like, would she have to pay for his medical expenses? I mean, like a surrogate almost.
That's a good question. Again, if you're familiar with how this
At me, don't like angrily at me in the comments. I'm admitting I don't know. I'm ignorant of. I'm very curious how that would work. But anyways, all right, I'm gonna give some gold. I liked her freak out moment because they're in their little beds. Hospital beds.
gurneys.
Gurneys. They're in the gurneys, loaded up, ready to go into surgery. And I thought it was weird that she was, like, sad to be leaving him as though they were gonna go in the same operating room. That was weird. But I liked her little freak out, like, it all hit her, right before. And I thought, again, that was realistic and kind of made all of this a little more believable, even though it is a true story, so what do I know? But
There you go.
I liked that moment. I thought that was and he's still on cloud 9, like, "What? Just another day in paradise, just donating part of my liver."
I'm gonna give some gold. I liked the parents that surrounded these two leads. I thought that they did a good job. I liked his mom and her dad, especially, because I thought that they both really kind of encapsulated what parents in those situations and circumstances would say, feel, and do, while at the same time adding a little bit of needed levity, because this thing could have been way heavy throughout. But the parents actually, I think, brought it up a little bit for me.
Mhm, mhm. My last gift is coal. It's slow to me. It's just kinda and I know that's the intent. It's a very heartfelt movie. It tugs on all the heartstrings. It's based on a true story. This is all amazing. I am a Grinch for saying this. It's a little slow for me.
Oh, fair. Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not mad,
So
but I'm just saying.
our total was 3-3. We're just going to call it a Merry Christmas. Now, we asked on our social media, on our Instagram account, we put out a, hey, have you seen this? We want your feedback. And we got a couple of comments here. Hallmark of My Heart said, I love this movie. It's so sweet and heartwarming. It's such a unique storyline of bringing two people together. And then Mackie Unson, our good friend Mackie, said, I happened to catch this movie during Christmas in July a couple of years ago. It was an instant addition to my annual holiday rotation. Aimee Teegarden and Dalton have such genuine chemistry, and the film strikes a perfect balance between heartwarming scenes and welcome moments of levity. So some good feedback, and there were things I liked about this, but for me, it was a little not what I'm looking for in one of these. I wanted a little bit more humor, maybe a little bit more romance. It's not exactly holly and jolly, you know?
No, it gives me chicken soup for the soul vibes. You know, so like,
Yes.
definitely could have been a Godwink movie too. Like, it's and again, it sounds terrible because this is a true story. I mean, he was a stranger, he donated his liver to her, they started dating, he proposed to her on a horse-drawn carriage. So, like, those parts are all true, and that's wonderful, and I'm so happy for them. It just watching it play out, I don't know, it's not one that I would ever choose to rewatch again, and usually to be a really good movie for me, it's one that I would choose to rewatch again,
Yeah.
and I think you have to be in the right headspace for this one. It's not the rewatchability isn't there unless you're co-hosting a podcast and your co-host picks it and you have to rewatch it.
There you go. So, there you have it. And that, dear friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Special thanks to Nick Schwartz, as always, for our theme song, and thank you for being here. We so appreciate it, whether you're listening on various podcast platforms or watching us on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, well, I was just going to say, by the way, we are really gearing up for the big countdown to Christmas season. It's right around the corner, and we really want to grow our podcast family. So if you like our podcast, do us a favor, tell a friend about our podcast, or even better, give us a 5-star review, like, subscribe, do all of the things so that you get your first notification of our new content out there. And we are really excited about the next one that we will be recapping and reviewing. We're going back to Hallmark 2021 here, Jennifer, for A Dickens of a Holiday. This one stars a couple of our favorites. We've got Christopher Palaha, we've got Brooke Dorsey, and here is the plot summary. To make the 100th anniversary of her hometown's Victorian Festival a success, Cassie invites action movie star and former high school classmate Jake to play in A Christmas Carol. Well, this one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and you better believe we're going to have much, much, much to discuss. But until then,
May your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.